How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
So, can you talk about importance of literature for any society? Why literature is important?
So, literature is important in the sense that its way of articulation is very different. It gives different ideas to the society and also sometimes reflects what the society is all about. For example, in Malayalam, we have a Misha, which was very controversial, but it has certain references to some of the societal aspects as well as some of the discriminatory terms which was happening. So, it also reflects the society to some extent.
Apart from that,
There can be also a way in which the terms which is used can improve the knowledge part of the society also.
okay. Apart from that, in what
Mm.
in what way it is significant?
So it is significant as it reflects a particular genre and also a particular the writer's way of language. The culture is also reflected in that.
Okay. So, what is your assessment? With respect to the kind of works that are coming up in Malayali literature nowadays. Uh, what does it indicate about Malayalam or Kerala culture, about people, about politics, right? Whatever happening in Kerala, how much of it is reflected and what is reflected in contemporary literature?
Sir, in contemporary literature, it's more open rather than the romanticism which existed much before that. More realistic version of literature can be seen, and here the politics is openly being criticized or even is analyzed in the literature. And again, they are not using any beautiful words for the articulation rather than more harsh words, or as such, it is being used. The merge of Malayalam and English can also be seen in Malayalam literature.
Okay. With respect to your last point, should we be worried about it? Some writers and thinkers, poets worry that when you use foreign language, whether it is English or Hindi, any other language, right? When you intermix it, so language gets diluted and sometimes gets threatened also. So, what is your view?
Sir, I perceive this in a very positive way because it's a fact or it is a nature of realism in which to indicate to bring it that effect they're using a foreign language. But it as of what I have read till now, I haven't seen a kind of dilution which happened to language. For example, Khasak and Idihasam, wherever it was created during the Romantic era, but it is realistic depiction. Here they're using both English and a very different kind of language, but still Malayalam is considered as a central language in that. But to have that effect of what he's trying to say, that he is using English word, but I don't see any dilution happening there. Sir.
No, but sometimes these English words replace the native words, and they become common words. The people stop using Malayalam word or Kannada word. They start using its replacement from the English language. So don't you think when that starts happening with more number of words, the new generation get used to the foreign language word rather than the actual word of the native language?
Sir, I don't see literature being making a path for using different other languages than native language and endangering it. But it is very difficult to translate some of the English words to Malayalam. If it is happening, it becomes too long and it even endangers the actual existence of Malayalam language. I've even seen that it is not the literature, but the social media to some extent is diluting and making it more vulgar to be used.
Mhm. Have you read the novel Chameen?
Yes, sir.
What is it about?
So, Chemmin is a romantic novel which is throwing insight to a realistic fact that is a myth which exists within a fisherman community in Kerala, and how that myth is destroying some of the lives revolving around that myth, and how the aspirations of certain people are bringing them down towards Earth and also destroying their life.
Mm-hmm. Is it still relevant, the theme of the novel? Do we still witness such kind of things happening?
Yes, sir. I think the novel is still relevant because
Mm-hmm.
there are certain myths which exist in the society, not just in Kerala, but in India somewhere, where some of the myths are destroying the lives of people and also paving for discrimination among the society. And the aspirations, which is uncontrollable, is also leading to
Can you give an
destruction.
example at pan India level, or in other societies, when you said that not just in Kerala, not maybe restricted to the fishermen community? So, what did you have in
Yes,
your?
sir. Sir, there was a very controversial societal practice called as, sir, I'm unable to recall. It is a culture in which the already leftover food items over which they have to roll and Anga Pradakshina, I think that's the name of the culture. So they have to roll, so they will get salvation, and it is also considered as a good practice. So that is a myth which persists in the society, but it is discriminatory to some extent, sir.
Mm-hmm. Give me two reasons why. Why do you think it is discriminatory?
So one thing is that the food which is left over and rolling over it itself is a discriminatory practice. See, that is a leftover item which have to be discarded. And the people who are intending to do this is promoted to do that. To some extent, that is done by some of the lower sections of the society who consider it as a very great thing if they are rolling over on the food which is left over by the high caste people. So I think, sir, it is discriminatory.
Okay. So, do you think literature has the power to address real life social issues like inequality, discrimination?
Sir, it is the way in which the society looks upon to the literature. Sometimes they see good thing in that part. Example, as I've referred to Misha, in which they say that women are often being discriminated. Even there is a period taboo which exists in the society. So if the people are perceiving that in a positive sense, for sure it can make a change in society. But if they are perceiving in a negative sense and criticizing the author, it will not create a change. It's up to the society how they are perceiving on it.
Again, when you say it is up to the society, society has so many layers, so many factors. Everyone is not educated, literate, right?
Yes,
Will
sir.
not have the awareness required to understand what is conveyed, through
Yes, sir.
literature, or through any information. So when you have so many factors,
Yes, sir.
can literature, through its works, communicate or create awareness to our? Can it influence? The question is about, does literature has the power to influence minds of the people to bring social change?
So I think to some extent, because there was work of Kamala Suraya, which she focuses on to the same woman discrimination and also how the women are seen, how they are objectified. So her literary works have been perceived in a positive sense by the society, and that is also used by them to say project the women empowerment, how they have to be empowered.
To some extent, to little extent,
Yes, sir.
not to the larger
Sir.
extent.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So when you know, I think somebody said that poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. So it was an exaggeration.
Sir, I'm unable to understand the actual crux of this particular concept.
No, I think somebody said, they are unacknowledged legislators. They may not be elected to the parliament, but still their words, their works act as, legislations. So, yeah. So, what do you understand by social inequality?
So, social inequalities are existence of certain inequalities within the societal people, which can be in the form of caste discrimination or even class discrimination and even gender discrimination. So, this inequality will place some of the societal representatives under vulnerability, maybe even denying the privileges what is offered in the society.
Okay. So there are many social inequalities, like caste
Yes, sir.
inequality, gender inequality, educational, health inequality.
Yes, sir.
Among all these inequalities, which inequality you think is extremely disturbing, extremely important to address? Others should be addressed. I'm not denying, but among all of them, which one you would pick that requires utmost recognition and addressing?
Sir, I think the educational inequality which exists in the society have to be addressed first, because education is considered as the knowledge is actually the power to understand oneself and also how they can be expressed, and it will also help them to perceive what is happening, the changes that is happening around, understand the changes that is happening around. So if they have to respond to the reforms and also accept what the government is bringing in, I think education inequality have to be addressed first.
Okay. Can you further illustrate, why you think educational inequality is most important? So even I do believe that it is the source of all other inequalities nowadays.
So,
Hmm.
sir, I would say some of the social discriminatory practices which I've already referred earlier about Anga Pradakshina. So, to people to conceive it as an inequality and have to fight against it, and if such of a kind practices have to remove from the society, people have to think rationally. They have to understand the illogical such kind of practices, and even the period taboo or the taboo which is against those discriminated groups such as manual scavengers. To remove such of a things, people have to understand their rights. They have to know, and through education, they need to know the right to uh, what equality, and even to have the remove that health inequality within us, that right to health, how important it is that all these comes from education. So,
So can you talk about Mahatma Gandhiji and inequality? How did he you know perceive inequality in India, and how did he seek to address it?
Sir, Mahatma Gandhi is always praised for his work for against the discrimination faced by the untouchable society. So even considering them as untouchables, he considered them as Harijans who are very close to God. So he have even gave away his elitist his facilities, his privileges have been given up to work along with them. He have adopted a simple life and was ready to any kind of jobs in order to support them. And he have established a league which support the untouchables and haven't started various works in journalism like Youth India, I think Young India, which have also projected his ideas. And his Swachhada is also that it is not should be one
See, but
duty
but
of
he
a
never explicitly opposed the caste system. In fact, he defended it. So don't you think
sorry, sir.
he defended caste system, right? He never
Yes,
opposed
sir.
the caste system. So don't you think by not opposing caste system, he defended inequality?
Sir, I think he have defended the caste system by focusing on to the untouchable categories who he referred to as Harijans, but he didn't do it explicitly as against the caste system because he wanted to bring in a society of inclusivity, and all at the same time it shouldn't create a large scale public protest. Caste and the related aspects are considered internalized in the society. If such of a kind is openly defended, then public will protest to a large extent. For example, I would say about the Shabrimala aspect. There, women discrimination, gender inequality was highlighted, and Supreme Court have provided a judgment openly against that. But the public outcry in the large-scale law and order disruption have delayed the proper implementation of the Supreme Court judgment. So maybe because of that, Sir Gandhi having openly, explicitly condemned the caste system.
See, this Vaikom Satyagraha, right?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
can you talk about it? What was
Sir,
it
last
about,
it
and
was
what was the impact of it?
So Vaikam Satyagraha lasted was 100 years of Vaikam Satyagraha, and this was against the discrimination which is experienced by the so-called low caste. who were denied the access to the temple as well as even to the premises of the temple.
So why were they denied access?
So there was a notion of pure purity and impurity in Kerala during the 19th century, early 19th century. So
That is
they
because of
were,
the caste system.
yes, sir. It's because
Okay.
of the caste system, a caste hierarchy being followed. So some
Mhm.
of the sections of population was even denied their air that is breathed out is even considered impure.
But don't you
So
think without addressing the caste hierarchy, without hitting at it, without addressing the hierarchy itself, so it becomes just like superficial when we talk about inclusivity, equality. What is
yes,
your
sir.
personal opinion on this?
Sir, as I've already said, that caste is somewhat internalized in the society or have a deep rooted effect on the society. It's very difficult to completely remove that. So some of the things at its premises have to be first removed by bringing in small changes. Gradually, the changes have to be brought in, and finally, the caste can be taken down. Some of the steps, for example, we have a Protection of Civil Liberties Act, which is Article 17, which have openly defended against the untouchability practice. So these have to be gradually brought in so that finally we can address the caste system, a whole thing which is deep rooted.
Okay. So how many genes does human genome, has in terms of those who produce proteins? Number of genes.
Sir, the Human Genome Project, which was conducted, said that there is around 33,000 functional genes. And some of the non-functional genes is yet to be understood inside our human
That was
body.
in 2001, 2002. What about
Yes,
2024? What is the latest number of genes that scientists so far have deciphered?
so they have said 20,000 of functional gene are present and 20,000 non-functional are present within human body.
Okay. So why is it important, to decipher human genome, understand, all about human genome?
Yes, sir. So recently, the Genome India the program have been considered. So during that, it was long discussed. So genome sequencing is very important, most importantly to bringing a reformation in the health system, which is a precision medicine can be brought in. Secondly, some of the genetic variations which happen within a population can be understood. For example, if a particular population from which different other populations originate, so, what kind of variation and what are the factors, external factors, which have led to this genetic variations can also be understood. And in administration, I think in the criminology, to understand to take the evidences can also be used for this, and to address the diseases caused, what the reasons that is happening, genetic disorders can be understood.
Okay. Why do we have so much of junk DNA? What is the use or the purpose of having lots of junk DNA?
Sir, I don't know about it, sir. Sorry, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So with respect to like anti-aging, that is one of the research area where many scientists are focused, right? Um,
Yes, sir.
how can we slow down the aging, genetically, and what is the research that is going on?
Sir, the researchers on anti-aging are going on, as it said. Uh, the cells are usually having a very short span of life, uh, which have to be, sorry,
Continue,
sir.
continue, continue, continue.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, sir. So very short span of life. So as these cells are age and get denatured, so as a long process after a while, it is up to 120 days that we're expected to live. So
Mhm.
after that, the entire cells will get denatured. So now researchers are going on to increase the life of these cells as well as the DNA replication, which can happen in our body. And by the way, we can live for a long time, which they are saying like immortal through Amrita, which they are
Mhm.
saying.
Would you like that?
Sorry, sir.
Prolonging the longevity of humans, is it a desirable thing to do?
Sir, I have a mixed opinion that is, it is desirable to the sense that we can see the various changes through which our world is going on, various technology being introduced.
You're not just
But
going to see, you're also going to be the agent of change.
sorry,
You're
sir.
not just going to see the change, you're also going to be the agent of change. When you will live
Yes,
long.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
sir. I'm going to be an agent to change also. But at the same time, I think human life is really beautiful because we have to go through different stages of life. Each stages
Mm.
of life, we'll be experiencing different things that happens to our body, and also our way of seeing all these things will also different. I think that is also beautiful, sir.
Okay. Can you name any 4 or 5 living novelists of Malayalam literature?
Uh, yes, sir. Sir S.K. Harinath, uh, and Sarah Joseph, K. Jayakumar, Prabha Verma, and Raja Lakshmi, K.R. Meera. That's it.
Okay. What has been the relationship between Malayali literature and Malayali cinema?
Thus, the relation which I see is that some of the novels of Malayalam literature have been changed to movie. For example, recently released Aadajeevitham is a movie from which Benjamin's Aadajeevitham have been reincarnated. Secondly, some of literature, the writers itself turns out to be writers. The late N.T. Vasudevan Nair is a script writer of some of the Malayalam movies. And some of the Malayalam literatures, to some extent, have influenced the Malayalam movies.
Okay. Thank you. Hmm?
Thank you, sir.
So, what do you think about your performance?
So, in terms of answering, I think I was okay, but in between, when society parts come, I will always miss up something.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt that.
Okay. Hmm. I started with like why literature is important. Uh,
Hmm.
in the very beginning itself, try to ensure that your thoughts are little deep, compared to what you usually think, right? Uh, so we usually start with a very obvious point, right?
Hmm.
So there, while literature is important, like from the society perspective, I asked. So in most of the cases, literature itself is a reflection of how well the society has matured, advanced, right? Uh, how much it is aware, and the richness of the society. Everything is indicated in the literature. So you can say literature is a reflection of that how well the society has advanced or something. So from there, you can start and talk about uh, uh, you know the sensibilities and the problems that exist in society, right? So how the literature becomes mouthpiece, or how it gives out voices out, right? Something like that. And the injustices, inequalities, right, regarding that. So you should have linked with certain societal issues and concepts, and then talked about why literature is important from that perspective.
Yes, sir. Okay,
So
sir.
I felt it was a bit superficial. Okay.
Okay.
And the second question, like Malayali literature and current trends, so you answered well, but again, I was expecting some answer with respect to the relationship between Middle East and Kerala, if it is reflected, the problems faced by people who migrate to others uh, countries, and when they come back. I think there have been movies, but I'm not sure about literature. Is it reflected in literature?
Yes, hard Jeevitham reflects that.
Yeah, yeah, right. So like that, bring diversity in your answer, right?
Okay, sir.
Like fisherman community, like with respect to that, women and caste, and like so many issues may be getting reflected. The current trends, what is the movement that is going on in Malayalam literature? Is there any particular movement we have in Kannada we say Navodaya, Navya, Bandaya, Dalita, and then Pragatipara, Pragatishila, something like. There are various movements in Kannada literature like that. You don't have.
I don't think it's contemporary only that kind of.
You discuss with any professor? Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you can explain the contemporary developments through certain trends and themes, like
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so I asked the question, power of literature to address social issues. So the thinking is right, it has limited impact, but how it makes concerted effort, how it keeps creating the awareness. But the real job is to to the legislature, executive, and judiciary to address the problem, not for the literature, but how it keeps them on toes. How it uh, sensitizes people and all. So from that angle, you should have spoken, but the answer was okay, good, not a, that answer was very good. Like when I asked about various social inequalities, you rightly said educational inequality. But again, few more details. See, don't hesitate to give more dimensions if you can think about more dimensions. So don't try to limit your answer. So as long as they are qualitative, as long as they contribute to the discussion. Contributing to the discussion means they open up new avenues. Like another discussion point you are creating. So it continues the conversation and everyone gets engaged, right? So if you are not confident about the quality, then you can shorten the answer, right? Good, overall good. So you are a 200 plus candidate for sure, right? So even for this, I can give you 193 because few questions I felt could have been better, deep, but you will definitely do well. I don't think you will walk out with less than 190. Okay, all the best.
Okay.
Prepare well. You will do well.
Okay, sir. Sir, I want furthermore one-on-one sessions. Will it be possible?
Feb second week we can do.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all the best.
Sir, about my articulation of answers.
That is good. The confidence is good. Articulation is good. You have critical thinking.
Okay,
You
sir.
are able to analyze. So the qualities which are required to easily score 190 plus, they are evident. So you can push it to easily 200 plus, right? With further little, deeper thinking,
Okay, sir.
which you can do. Okay, all the best.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.